Uh, okay, what we are going to do today, it is a very important class. Today we are going to discuss a three important thing. One is basic model of atom. Basic model of atom, that is given by model of atom given by Thomson. Thomson is the first man who gave the basic model of atom. And second one, after that there is some problem in the Thomson model of atom. After that, one more scientist come. He gave his own model. His name was Rutherford. So Rutherford, and he discovered nucleus. How, we will see. But still there are some ambiguities in Rutherford model. So at the end, one very very famous scientist come, and he will give his own model of atom. His name was Bohr, Bohr. So today we are going to discuss how these three models are different from each other. What wrong Thomson says, then it is corrected by Rutherford, and then it is corrected by further by the Bohr. So let me start quickly. Thomson. So Thomson model of atom is a very important, and Thomson is the one of the beginner in the field of the basic model of the atom. He gave a simple concept of the atom, like atom is made up of two things. One is electron and another is proton. Only he said it is just like a plum, it is just like a watermelon. Like in watermelon there are seeds, in the same way the Thomson said atom is just like it consisting of two things, electron and proton, and which make themselves. And there is, he never revealed about nucleus and anything. He just said the model of the atom is consisting of electron and proton, which is fairly wrong, because we all know the atom consisting of nucleus in between, at the center, and electrons are revolving around that. So that's why the Thomson model of atom get failed. And after that, another scientist come, whose name was Rutherford. Now Rutherford, what he did. Okay, before starting Rutherford, let me quickly show you one video regarding a Thomson model of atom, how it look like and how it work. So let me start it. Let me start it from here. Yeah, you just watch it, and there is no music. I am explaining this. Just wait. Yeah. Okay, till the time it get corrected, we will move forward. Okay, after the Thomson, Rutherford, one another scientist came, and he described the model of atom like this. He did one experiment first of all, that is what we call Rutherford experiment. And what does the Rutherford experiment tells? Okay, let us see Rutherford. Now Rutherford experiment is experiment. What he did, he take a gold foil. A gold foil, it's a kind of a very thin gold paper, in which these, as I draw, these are the circles. These are basically the gold atoms. These are the gold atoms, right? And you must have to know how to draw this, because several times it is asked in the exam. And he put a black spot inside. This is basically the nucleus. Later on it is decided as a nucleus, but you must have to remember how to draw this diagram. Okay, now what he did, he passed alpha particle. Now alpha particles are particles. Now what are the alpha particles? Many times students are confused in alpha particle, because sometimes it is written in the book He42. He42 is basically a helium. Helium is termed as alpha particle, because alpha particle is a that particle which has atomic mass 4. This upper whatsoever we write it in superscript, it is a mass, atomic mass, and whatsoever we write it in the subscript, it is the atomic number. So this is atomic number. So alpha particle is, it's a kind of subatomic particle in which the mass is 4 and the atomic number is 2. And since helium is an element which has 4 atomic mass and 2 atomic number, that is why it is also termed as alpha particle. Now what he did he passed this alpha particles are it's a kind of rays basically. So he passed that rays through this model, through this gold foil. This is the gold foil. Now when he passed the radiations, so some radiations get straight away passed through like this, that I am showing, and some are reflected back, like 180 degree reflected back. They comes and strike back, and some of they get deflected at certain angle like this, like this. So with this experiment he concluded 3 point. Again I am repeating, he threw the alpha particles through the gold foil and he found 3 observations. So 3 observations he has, which is very important. Very number one is the alpha particles pass, most of the rays are passed, most of the rays are passed. Some of them are reflected back, and some are deflected means at a certain angle they deflected. Now with these 3 observations he conclude 3 results. What are these? Number one result, he conclude that since most of the radiation are passed through, this shows most of the space inside the atom is empty. The first observation he conclude most of the space is empty because most of the radiation are passed through. With the radiation those who are reflected back, he concluded that there is something inside the atom which has a solid mass, and which due to which some radiations are reflected back. And with the third observation that the radiations are deflected, he said there is since alpha particle carries positive charge, we know, so definitely the thing which is present inside the center must have the positive charge. So he concluded three things. Number one, the thing present here is solid because it reflects the radiation back, and most of the spaces inside the atom spaces is there. And third observation, he concluded that the thing which is inside the atom carry positive charge. And at the end he termed that particular thing as nucleus. He gave a name of nucleus to this particular thing present inside the atom. So nucleus has 3 properties. Then it means it is a solid, means it has a solid mass. Number two, the most of the space inside the atoms are empty, that is why some radiation passes through, and the radiation carries the positive charge. This means because carries the thing which is present inside the center carries the positive charge. This shows the nucleus must have the positive charge. So these are the 3 results, but still he did one mistake. He is not fully explained the structure of atom clearly. So what okay, let me see again whether the videos are okay or not. Let me see. Okay, quickly I'll check if it is available, then you can clearly visualize something. Okay, let us see the second video then. Yeah, this is very important. This is a Rutherford experiment. Okay, I think there is some problem. That is why it is not playing. Just give me few seconds. If it is played, then it is okay. Yeah, you see this Rutherford model of atom. Actually, this is the apparatus which he used. Okay, just wait. Yeah, this is the apparatus that is used. This is alpha particle emitter, right? This is a detection screen, and he used two slits also. Now, what procedure he adopt? What he did? This is a alpha particles emitter. So this, see, there is a radioactive material present here which will emit the alpha particle radiation. So this kind of cross section is for alpha particle radiation. See, the alpha particles are now emitted. Now these alpha particles they pass through these slits will make it very narrow, and then the narrow beam strikes our gold plate. When it strikes the gold foil, then what will happen? See, the radiation, you will see some radiation got back, some are reflected back, some are passed through straight, some are deflected, some get back. So this shows the complete experiment of the Rutherford, how it works. So by this he concluded path of the alpha particle hitting the foil. This is shown. So by this observation, there are these are the three kinds of observation. See, most of the spaces, most of the parts are empty inside the atom. Some get striked by, some are deflected, see, and some are strike back. This is a very good demonstration of the Rutherford model of atom. So I hope you understand this. So let me quickly show you other one, if I am able to open it. Just wait. Just wait. No, I think it is not. No, this is not completely down level, right? Okay, right. So I think you understand the Rutherford model of atom in detail, but still I am saying there is a problem. Now what is the problem there? Okay, let me tell you the limitation of Rutherford model of atom. See, Rutherford, although he is a very brilliant scientist, but he is unable to explain why the electrons are he is unable to explain one thing, that is, the people said he said electrons are revolving around the nucleus, and he said in the nucleus there is a proton. He discovered it. Everything is okay, but he is unable to explain why the electron since the electrons are revolving around the nucleus, then people asking him, if the electrons revolves around the nucleus, then it will definitely lose energy. Then he said yes, definitely it will lose energy. Then people said, if they are losing energy, then it continuously lose its path, its radius get decreases. Then he has no answer for this particular question. Other scientists ask him, since the electrons are revolving around the nucleus, definitely they will lose energy. Then he said yes, but he is unable to explain, if the electron loses energy, then it continuously reduces its radius, and one time there may be a time occurred and when these electrons falls into the nucleus. He said he is unable to reveal the fact behind that. So this is a problem in the Rutherford model of atom, that he is not able to explain well what will happen when the electrons revolve around the nucleus, loses energy. So this is the problem with the Rutherford. So after that, Bohr's one more scientist, Bohr, he explained this thing. He said yes, electrons are moving around the nucleus. This is correct, but they particularly move in a particular shell, and that shell's names are K, L, M, N, like this. they revolve in a particular shell. Then the scientist asked him if the electrons revolve around the nucleus, they lose the energy. Then also Bohr said yes, but when they lose energy, they will move in the higher energy level, up to the higher energy level, and after gaining energy, the electron will return back. This how exchange of energy get take place. Now people are very people are not able to understand this thing. I will explain you. Let us suppose the K subshell has an energy of 1 electron volt. Electron volt is a unit of energy or joule. Or L has 2 electron volt and M has 3 electron volt. I am just taking an example to just clear this point to you. Now what will happen when an electron moves in its orbit in the K shell? Suddenly when its energy goes down to 0.8 or 0.7, it will move into the next energy level, the higher energy level, and it means the energy level, the L shell, where the energy is 2 electron volt. Now after gaining the energy, now the electron has become its energy 2 electron volt, but still since it has to move back to the same energy level, what it has to release the extra energy that it gains, because to sustain in this K shell, the electron must have 1 electron volt energy, and when it jump to the L subshell, it gains 2 electron volt energy, but it means the additionally 1 electron volt energy it gain. So when it return back, it will lose this kind of energy, 1 electron, the extra amount of energy in the form of radiation. That is why some metals and they are so they loses the energy in the form of radiation. That's it. So this is a very important point you have to remember, and this is what we call exchange of energy. So exchange of energies are taking place whenever electron revolves around a nucleus, and whenever the energy get low, it will immediately move to the another energy level, gain the energy, come back and releases the extra amount of energy that it has, because it has to be sustained itself with the same amount of energy, because all the subshells have the fixed amount of energies. So this how he explains the correctness to the Rutherford model of atom. Let me show you one more visualization on Rutherford, maybe not on Bohr. Maybe this will clear your all doubts. Let me show you. Yeah, see, Bohr model of atom. This is a Bohr model of atom. In Bohr model of atom, these are the names of the scientists: J.J. Thomson, then Rutherford, and after that the Bohr come, because Rutherford is unable to explain correctly why the electron revolve around the nucleus, loses energy, and what is going to happen with that electron. Then Neil Bohr, his full name is Neil Bohr, he helped to understand this thing, the Rutherford model of atom. Rutherford said the electron is revolve around the nucleus like this. It shows that the electron in an atom revolves around a positive charge center called nucleus like this, but scientist asks him, if the electrons revolve around the nucleus, it will definitely lose energy, and if it definitely lose energy, then definitely what will happen, this electron which revolves at one time, it falls into the nucleus. But this is wrong, this is not exactly happen. What will happen, then Neil Bohr explain, the electron is revolve around the nucleus, and they have the fixed energy, shell, and to answer that particular question, he explained that whenever its energy is decreased, this has a fixed amount of energy, because every shell have a fixed energy shell, and they are called the discrete energy levels also. Now this is how it is represented. Like in hydrogen atom, it is a K shell, then L shell, M shell, and N shell. Then when the electron moves, Rutherford is unable to explain that the electrons are moved in a particular shell. But Bohr model explained that the electrons are particularly moved in a particular orbit. But while in the Bohr model, it just explained that the electron is revolving. But Bohr model explains that the electron is placed in a fixed shell, and for that he received a Nobel Prize also in 1922. So Bohr model Bohr model of atom suggests that an atom consists of positively charged nucleus, and the electron revolves around it in a special orbit called discrete orbit, or the energy levels. And the energy of these discrete orbit remains fixed, and these energy levels are called K, L, Mn, or 1, 2, 3, 4, starting from the center. So this is all about, this is all about the Rutherford, and he also got a Nobel Prize for that. So I hope now you are able to understand how the three models are differentiate with each other. And very important, you must have to remember, okay, let me take a quick recap what we did. First of all, the Thomson, Thomson is one of the scientists. He explained the model of atom. He said he basically his contribution was very less in explaining the atom properly, because he said only the atom is consisting of two things, two subatomic particles, one is electron and proton, and electron and protons are just randomly placed inside the circular plate or anything. But this is wrong. Further, Rutherford come, and he explained very well. First of all, he discovered the nucleus by this gold leaf experiment. What he did, he passed the alpha particles through the gold foil, and he observed that some of the alpha particles get bented, they bent, they deflected, they are passed, some alpha particle radiations are passed straight away, and some of them reflected back, and some of them they are tilted. So he from these three observations he concluded 3 points, that from the observation that the most of the radiations are passed through, he said the most of the space inside the atom is empty, and from the observation that some of the radiation get back, he said something positive solid thing is present inside the atom, and by some deflected by at a certain angle, he said that there must be a positive charge inside the atom, because alpha particle also carry a positive charge, and since it is the radiation are deflected, it means the center also carry a positive charge. He named it nucleus. But he is still unable to explain one thing, that is if the electron revolve around the nucleus, then certainly it must be lose some energy, and at a certain point it must be fall inside the nucleus. This is the one of the drawback of the Rutherford experiment. He is not able to explain this thing. Then Niels Bohr will come, and Niels Bohr explained this very well. He said not electrons are not revolve around the nucleus, but they revolve around the nucleus in a fixed orbit. They are not only revolve, but they revolve in a fixed orbit, and he said that fixed orbit is called discrete shells. And then also he explained what happens when the electron loses energy. He said when the electron lose energy, they immediately jumps into the higher energy level, and after gaining the energy they return back. This is what we call the exchange of energies, and it is keep on going on in each and every atom. So this how the story of atomic structure and is occur. So now if you have any query, you may ask me.